Let's go right to Zoon Ahmed Khan for more on China's stance on Afghanistan. She's a visiting fellow at Tsinghua University in Beijing and a Pakistani researcher and journalist. Zoon, thank you so much for joining us.
Elaine, thank you for having me.
What has been the reaction inside China to the U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, and how closely is Beijing watching how the Taliban attempts to form a government?
So I think the first thing to understand is that because of geographical reasons, of course, the entire SCO region, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization region, and especially China, Pakistan, neighbors of Afghanistan, our stakes in Afghanistan's stability and the consequences of this withdrawal are long-term. So people are watching very closely. I think the most important thing for China right now is that the international community needs to come together instead of creating chaos and confusion and threatening sanctions, needs to help the Taliban form a government to be able to reduce the amount of confusion in the country. And of course, 20 years, or I would say 40 years of war have resulted in depolarization and need for reconstruction. And another thing to understand is that Afghanistan has essentially been supported by aid. We need the Belt and Road vision. We need investment in Afghanistan's future to be able to ensure a peaceful and prosperous and stable country. So I think for China, definitely it's very important for the international community to come together to look for solutions. And the question is not whether to recognize and support, but exactly how China can, in a better way, support Afghanistan. And I think the call between Wang Yi and Blinken is a positive step forward because as your initial, the statement from Wang Yi also says that the withdrawal is not the end, but the beginning of how exactly we can work together with the Afghans.
Zoon, you mentioned the Belt and Road Initiative. Is that something that you think Beijing will consider extending an invitation for Afghanistan to join?
100%. You know, the Belt and Road. So I'm from Pakistan, and when we talk about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and Pakistan is also a member of the SCO. So we talk about extending this corridor to Afghanistan and through Afghanistan to Central Asian countries. This idea has been there for decades, but because of the Belt and Road, we can imagine more synergy and a way that this idea and vision can be executed to help people, not just in Pakistan and Afghanistan and Central Asia, but the region at large. So the Belt and Road is on the table, and even when we talk about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO has been involved in facilitating the process of reconciliation and better integration of Afghanistan within the region. The idea is that we need a holistic approach. We need to help Afghans through economic efforts, through investment, through truly investing in their people to be able to ensure stability and long-term peace in the entire region. So the BRI is on the table, and other mechanisms like the SCO are on the table. And this is the only way forward. We are thinking of long-term and lasting solutions.
And when you talk about getting the international community involved and rallying around helping Afghanistan become more stable, what do you think China's role would be in that effort? Do you think that China could be a mediator in the region and with other nations in the international community?
I think that is the point. That is what China has been promoting, encouraging countries to, because I feel personally that the kind of coverage being done on Afghanistan and the kind of chaos and fear being created, it really affects Afghan people. People are afraid because it's uncertain. Of course, the economic issues coming up, the country is dependent on aid. There's so much that needs to be resolved. So external confusion, or the way the Afghanistan situation is being reported, is also misleading, misguiding, and helping induce fear among people. So I think China is trying to push for better ways to deal with the situation, and obviously can maybe play as a mediator, can help the Taliban also ensure that they will cooperate with the international community. Because one important thing to understand is that the Taliban currently realize that they need the region, they need international support to be able to run the country, because the country we have right now is deeply polarized and has severe economic challenges as well. These cannot be resolved alone. So China, as a major player, as the major player in the region and also globally, is going to play and must play an integral role. And this is what the communication from Beijing sounds like.